بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي، وأصلي وأسلم على خير المبعوث سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Dear brothers and sisters, as it's my first time, I'd like to say Ramadan Kareem to all of you. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to accept our siyam, our qiyam, our salah, our ruku', our sujood, and let us not leave the month of Ramadan without being from those who are accepted into Jannatul Firdaus and those who are forbidden from entering hellfire. So in today's topic, inshallah, I wanted to talk to you, and the title of the topic is Ramadan and the qualities and the manners of those who fast, right? When we are asked what is Ramadan, the first answer is it's the month where we stop. People say the month where we stop eating and drinking, but Ramadan, but that's just one aspect of Ramadan. Ramadan is about so much more than just dropping our food or drink. Ramadan is the month of peace, the month of tranquility, the month of cure, the month of goodness, the month of forgiveness, the month of mercy, the month of Quran, the month of revelation, the month to attain paradise, and the month to practice self-restraint. So, dear brothers and sisters, when we talk to the non believers and we tell them what Ramadan is, we need to say these things. It's not just a month of me stopping eating and drinking, it's rather about much more. It's a month where Allah Azza wa Jal tells us the objective of fasting. He tells us why are we fasting? Allah says, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُم. Fasting was prescribed to you as it was prescribed to those who came before you. But why? Why was Siyam prescribed? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So that you may have taqwa, you may be God-fearing. And then we can see in all of those things I listed before, these are qualities of those who fear Allah. Because what is the qualities of al-muttaqeen? We see in Surah Ali Imran, Allah says, right? القاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. And Allah, those who swallow their anger, those who willingly let go for their brothers and sisters, and those who excel. And there's much more qualities of al-muttaqeen. But dear brothers and sisters, briefly today, what I want to do is I want to take the next few minutes and talk about a few qualities that maybe we should work on, that are the simple ones to work on in the month of Ramadan, so that when we leave the month of Ramadan, we've instilled these qualities within us already, that we can continue and maintain them for the month after Ramadan till next Ramadan, where we can pick another qualities of those who fast, of Sa'imin, right, and add it to these qualities. So I wanted to start out with one of the basics, right? So Ramadan is the month of peace. What is peace? Peace is salam, right? We always mention salam. When we meet a brother and sister, we say assalamu alaikum. But what does salam mean from our perspective? Salam from our perspective is when you say salam to someone, you are telling them, I am protecting you from the evil of what my tongue could say to you. I am also protecting you from the evil of the harm I could cause to you. In addition to that, I am asking Allah to send His salam on you and to protect you. That is the meaning of salam. As when we say assalamu alaikum, it implies everything I have just said and much more. So let us ask ourselves, are we actually practicing this assalamu alaikum, this peace, this salam in our life? So when we see our brothers and sisters who we aren't, on good terms with, and we're telling them still assalamu alaikum, are we actually practicing that salam? Are we actually refraining from talking bad about them? Are we refraining from saying bad things to them? Are we refraining from harming them or backbiting them? That is what salam is. Let that be a quality that we begin to practice, because in the month of Ramadan, by the blessings of Allah, our iman levels are high. So we are able to do much more. So let us pick something like salam and actually begin to practice it. Let us practice forgiveness. Let us practice attaining paradise. But most of all, practice self-restraint, dear brothers and sisters. Ramadan is the month of self-restraint. We stay away from so many haram that we do outside of Ramadan, or so many wrong, because haram is rather a strong word. We stay away from so many wrong or so many makruh things that we do outside of Ramadan, because in Ramadan we're afraid of breaking our fast by doing something which might be wrong. So we practice self-restraint to what? To please Allah Almighty. So if we can do this in the 30 days or the 29 days of Ramadan, what is preventing us from practicing self-restraint that is pleasing to Allah the Almighty in the other 11 months outside of Ramadan? Because, dear brothers and sisters, we're supposed to refrain from the wrong and encourage the good. One of the things we restrain from is the evil of our tongue. We say so much foul language and so much verbiage outside of Ramadan that we don't say in Ramadan, because had we say it in Ramadan, our siyam is broken. What does that tell us, dear brothers and sisters? It tells us one thing. It tells us we are strong enough and we are very capable of preventing ourselves from indulging in these things. Right? And these things, dear brothers and sisters, Allah mentions in the Quran. Right, one of the qualities of those who enter Sakar and will remain in Sakar, which is hellfire, is they say, وَكُنَّا نَخُوضُ مَعَ الْخَائِضِينَ. We used to indulge in matters with those who indulge in. What does that mean? Our tongues used to say things that we knew we weren't supposed to say. Our ears used to hear things that we knew we were not supposed to hear. We used to be in places we were not supposed to be in. And we see in Ramadan, we are capable of doing these things. We are capable of refraining our tongue. We are capable of listening to the right things only. We are capable of only being in the right environment. So what is preventing us from doing that outside of Ramadan? Is the Lord of Ramadan, Rabb Ramadan, غير رب باقي الشهور? Is the Lord of Ramadan different from that of the Lord of the rest of the 11 months? No, he's the same Lord. So we strive in the month of Ramadan to seek Allah's forgiveness and mercy. Right? We are capable of doing that. And we do that through many of the actions we take. So why do we restrain ourselves outside of the month of Ramadan from these qualities? Because clearly, dear brothers and sisters, we possess these qualities. We possess the quality of salam, peace. We possess the quality of mercy, having mercy on others. We possess the quality of forgiveness, forgiving, right? We possess the quality of self-restraint, we do. And dear brothers and sisters, one of the most important things I need to touch upon today is one of the things we have a tendency of doing in Ramadan. Because we are fasting, our temper is very quick to go. And we try so hard to control it. But one of the ways we do that is by doing what? And if you pay attention to yourself, is you tell people, just stay away from me, I'm fasting. What does that mean? When we're interacting with the non-Muslims, what message are we giving them about Ramadan? What message are we relaying about fasting the month of Ramadan? What message are we relaying about the deen of Islam? It's a short-tempered. Allah is punishing us by making us fast when Allah is blessing us with so many opportunities and entering into Jannatul Firdaus in this month. Yet we're telling people, stay away from me, I'm fasting. Dear brothers and sisters, right? وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. That's the quality of al-muttaqeen. The purpose of fasting, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may be God-fearing. And the quality of al-muttaqeen as al-kadhimin al-ghayz, those that swallow their anger. What does it mean to swallow one's anger? When I eat something, and I apologize for using the word eating, I know we're all fasting and it's close to Maghrib, so we're probably all starving. When I eat something, right, and I come and I swallow it and I come in front of you, can you tell that I have eaten something? Of course not. I've swallowed it. It's in my stomach. It's done. That is what kadhimin al-ghayz, those that swallow their anger. They swallow their anger that the person in front of them does not know that they're angry. That is the quality we need to work on in Ramadan, right? And the quality we need to take outside of Ramadan. And dear brothers and sisters, if you think back to before Ramadan, you would notice that we practice al-kadhimin al-ghayz very well with our co-workers. with people outside of our Muslim community, with people outside of our own household. Yet with our families, with our community, we're very harsh with them. And dear brothers and sisters, one of the last qualities I want to emphasize that we need to work on this Ramadan is building a connection with the month of Quran, which is the Quran, building a connection with the Quran. We need to establish a connection with the Quran that is ongoing for the month after Ramadan. Because, dear brothers and sisters, we cannot be like those who came before us, right? Right? Allah says, and Allah tells us in verses in Surah Al-Hadid, right, that do not turn your books into decorations, where they are brought out in the month of Ramadan and they are abandoned outside of Ramadan, because the Quran is the Quran of Ramadan and the Quran of outside Ramadan. So build our connections with the Quran. Build it now. Pick up the Quran now and start reading. Do not read a whole juz. It is not maintainable. If it is, then go ahead. But read something on the daily basis. Pick up the Mus'haf. Look at the Mus'haf. It's a form of ibadah. So establish that form of ibadah where on the daily, Ya Allah, I'm going to look at the book that you sent with your Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I'm going to build this connection. It starts off with reading the verses, but then it becomes reading and comprehending the verses. And then it adds on top of that reading, comprehending, and implementing the verses. Then we become like our Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. كان خلقه القرآن. His manners were the Quran. Aisha says, كان قرآنا يمشي على الأرض. He was a walking Quran on earth. And that needs to be our goal. But dear brothers and sisters, that begins now. Ramadan is the month of Quran. Build the connection now and build it in a manner that is maintainable and is ongoing for what is after Ramadan. And dear brothers and sisters, I want to wrap up with this, right? All these are qualities that we are capable of working on. And I have chosen the easiest qualities to work with, which is salam, forgiveness, mercy, self-restraint, which we are very well at practicing in the month of Ramadan, right? And building a connection with the Quran. But dear brothers and sisters, remember, Ramadan is 30 days. It is these attributes, these characteristics that you built, you have to maintain them for the month of after Ramadan. And I do wrap with this, with the Hadith Qudsi, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was narrated in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, and Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu says that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah does not need your fasting if you are not willing to forego the evil that comes out of your tongue and the evil of your action. And that is something that we do, dear brothers and sisters. So let us build these qualities, these characteristics within ourselves, instill them now in the month of Ramadan, and understand as we leave the month of Ramadan that we are actually capable of fulfilling these qualities. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us from those who hear the words and do by them. And Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.